That's right, you guessed it. We're doing night. So I was gonna do frost, but I was convinced by my friend to do night because he plays night and only night, and I hate him for it because night has way too much health and a lot of damage. So we're doing night now. So not important, but night has one skin. Anyways, so night is a tank, as you can obviously see. It has pretty good mobility, pretty good defense, just by sheer health and his E ability. And he can be used as a deadly, like, slowly killing monster. So, first off, we're going to go over the abilities and what they do, and then we're going to go over how to use them, and then how to use them in coordination with each other. So, first off, your primary, right? It does 10 damage, and it hits pretty fast. So, it can do a little bit of damage, but not too much. It's mainly what you're going to be using as your damage, though, because, yeah. So, that's just literally it. It's just super, very, very unique, as you can easily see. It's not unique whatsoever. It's just a simple sword slash. That's all it is. 10 damage, nothing more. Yeah. Yeah. And so next up, his Q is a small dash that can be used as a stun and as damage. And it can also be used as movement. Or staggered, sorry. If you hit them after that, it says it's a stun, I think. And the hitbox is kind of busted. So, yeah. So they're staggered, and then if you hit them after that, they become stunned, and it does a little bit of damage. Your E, if you get hit in the time you use your wait. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So E, your E ability, when you use it, if you get hit by an attack, you automatically like doing a little attack back at them with double damage, because 100% is double. Oh no, that means no, just it's the same amount of damage. So if you get hit while you're using this ability, you will deal the same amount of damage back at them, and you will take no damage. And then your last move, your F, is your only ranged attack. It does 12 damage, more than your primary, takes a bit to charge up, and has a pretty decent cooldown. But it has good range. Anyways, so that's what all of his abilities do. Next up, how to use them. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is simple. Not really much to explain about it. You're just going to be kind of throwing it out just as extra damage. Also, as I said earlier, your Q's hitbox is busted. Like, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Okay, that wasn't a good example. But, like, me and my friend who recommended this to me, sometimes we're playing. At hitbox, sometimes I don't understand it, honestly. It's just weird. And it just, like, decides sometimes to work and sometimes it doesn't. It has a really unique hitbox that's kind of unlike anything else because it's broken. And along with the fact that you have, like, 2 billion health, it's pretty useful, I would say. Yeah. So you can use this as mobility, or someone's trying to run away. You can stun them, right? Or another thing, you can use it as, like, extra damage and to, like, stop people from attacking for, like, a split second, right? And then your E ability, just use it randomly in battle to throw off opponents. It's super helpful on melee players. Not really on ranged people because, like, what are you supposed to do? Is it just gonna, like, it's a melee attack? Like, what? How are you supposed to, So, it's pretty much only useful on ranged, on melee players. But it just does, if they hit you with decent damage, it does decent damage, right? So, it just depends on how much you're getting hit for. But it can do a lot of damage. And then after that, you have your F. If someone's running away, or if you can use it as an approach or to catch up with someone. And it just does the most damage out of your whole kit. So it's just pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so how to use your all abilities, right? You're just going to be throwing out your melee just constantly, because if you don't, then you're just not doing nearly as much damage, right? Your Q you're going to use as well for the stun. It just makes you take less damage, essentially, because while they're not attacking, you're not taking damage and you are dealing damage. It can also be used as mobility, like I mentioned earlier. And then your E, just like I said, you're going to be throwing it out randomly, kind of. Or if you see them charging up a big attack, you're going to be using it right then, because when they're using that big attack, you just reflect it completely. You can use it as a shield to just block attack if you time it right. So it can be used to just flat out block an attack. Yeah, you can block attacks. You can like throw an attack back at them. Normally, I use it like in melee fights. You're gonna use it to just throw back attacks and kind of throw it out randomly. And long range fight, if you're charging up something big, you can use that to dodge their attack. Not dodge, but just prevent it. And then your F, if they're far away from you, you can do that. You can use it as an approach or something like to back away with. You'll back away with it and deal damage like while you're trying to run, right? And you can like while you're using it, you're slow, and then you can make up for that time you lost with your Q. So yeah, overall, Knight's kit is a little bit broken in some ways. As I mentioned earlier, the Q hitbox is a little different, especially if you're higher than your opponent. It will like trigger before you even touch the ground. So that's kind of weird. Yeah. So that will happen. So like, I honestly forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah. So you can use it as like I already mentioned this, didn't I? So you're just gonna want to be throwing out your attacks. You're just gonna want to be like hitting this for like extra damage and not taking as much damage. Use this to block attacks or to just deal extra damage. And your F, use it as at a range. You can use it up close, but that gives them more chances to attack you, so it's kind of useless. But yeah, overall the Knights. Oh, that was what I was on. That's what I was gonna say. Overall, the Knights kit is kind of busted. Your Q is just the hitbox is a little, right? But overall, like, Knight just has a bunch of health, so you can really, like, risk it, go in there, get the biscuit, go out, Knight has a bunch of health, so you can like, safely, like, rush people, like, really aggressive. You can be super aggressive with Knight. It's something that not a lot of characters have. It's only, like, Juggernaut can be as aggressive as Knight, or Frost, I guess, which is who I'm doing next. But it's just because the more health you have, the more just like safely you can go into a fight and not have to worry about it. Simply with Juggernaut, you have 200 health. It's absurd. Just like even more broken. Anyways, so you can just really safely go into fights without having any concern for you like dying. Or you can safely make it to critical strike almost all the time. Right? So it's just a good character if you want to be like hyper aggressive and still having okay mobility. It's not that great, honestly. Like that, you could walk there, So if you just want to deal a buttload of damage and not have to worry about your health, actually I'd recommend Frost for damage. But Knight, you can deal decent damage while still retaining your health. So if that sounds like the character that you want, then use Knight. Or any other character. Anyways, so that's Knight. That's just how it works. If you want more Critical Strike tutorials on how to use a character, what it does, all that stuff, like, subscribe, comment which one you do down below. I don't care what you say. I'm doing Frost next. I've already put it off once. So, so that's it, Play Knight. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.